Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Alice in Wonderland collection with Colourpop Cosmetics. I have the entire collection here today to review. Everything is seriously so cute, so if you guys are curious about my thoughts on the collection, swatches, comparisons, 3 looks, everything you need to know we'll talk about today. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and hop right into the video. So with this collection I feel like it is a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to be reviewing product by product and I will have timestamps so you can skip along to a certain section, a certain product that you want to know more about. But I always like to start off with the eyeshadow palette first. So this is called Lost in Wonderland. It is super cute, a lot of detail with the outer packaging as well, a lot of peekaboo details, which I think is so cute. So the palette itself is $22 US. It is a 12 pan palette, but it is laid out a little bit differently. It kind of opens up like a book, similar to my Red Dragon palette, but I feel like that's very on theme with the collection. And then once inside you see all of the beautiful shadows. It doesn't have like a specific color story. It's got a bit of blue, pinks and green, so it's a little bit of mix. And I feel like the best way to describe this palette is like a colorful, cool tone, muted type of color story. You get mixtures of glitter, metallics and mattes and satins, so just a little bit of everything honestly. And when I first saw this palette, it wasn't like something I was really looking forward to. I feel like the color story is a little bit scattered. I feel like you guys know me, I work a little bit more monochromatically. However, I really love the looks that I got out of it, and I feel like there are some really special shades in here, like if you single them out. So I feel like overall I love the looks that I got out of it. It's not my like favorite palette because it's not my typical type of color story that I would use, but I think if you are looking for sort of like a summer cool type of palette, then maybe you would be interested in this one, because yeah, to my surprise, I really liked all 3 looks that I got out of it. Even though they were quite simple, I still really enjoyed using this. But I didn't get to use every single shadow, but the shades that I did use, I have no complaints about. I feel like everything performed well, so short and sweet, love the looks that I got out of it. But next up in the collection we have their shadow sticks. There are 3 different shades that go for $9 USD. The outer packaging is super cute because essentially each character has their own shadow stick. So we have the Mad Hatter, the Cat, and Alice. And I don't know if I'm missing something because I do find it quite hard to keep up with Colourpop, but are these shadow sticks new? Because I don't remember seeing these. I know they have the color sticks, but these perform so much more better than the color sticks. If you're wondering if you want to get the color sticks or the shadow sticks, get the shadow stick. These shadow sticks glide on so smoothly, they're very pigmented. It's just so much better than the color sticks. I remember the color sticks, they're a little bit more patchy, a little bit more rough and not as smooth. So I'm really impressed with these shadow sticks. My only thing about these is that there are very similar shades in the palette. So I guess if you didn't want to purchase the entire collection, there were certain shades that were speaking out to you, maybe go for the shadow sticks. The formula on these are very nice, especially in comparison to the color sticks. But if you're gonna buy the whole collection, this does feel like a repeat because literally these 3 shades are in the palette but in a pressed powder form. So I feel a little bit 50-50. I think it depends on you. I mean, with Colourpop, you always have so many buying options, like they have different sets. It's just a Colourpop thing, but overall, if we're just speaking about them individually, I do think they are really nice. I think the colors are really pretty too, and they perform really well. I used all 3, 1 in each look, and I think they worked great. So there is that, but I do think it is a bit of a repeat when it comes to the shade. I feel like maybe they could have done something a little bit different, but overall the formula is quite nice. Then we come on to the press of blushes. These are $14 US each. There are 2 shades, one for Alice and one for the Queen of Hearts. You guys know how I feel about Colourpop's press formula. I really do enjoy them, and I feel like if you're just a fan of Disney, if you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland, then these would just be so perfect. I personally would recommend Oh Dear, which is Alice's blush. It's a nice Barbie pink. It's what I have on my cheeks right now, and you guys also know I'm just going through a pink phase, so this is just really speaking to me. And the other blush called Silence, which is the Queen of Hearts blush, is like a bright red. This will sort of blend out more as like a hot pink on the cheeks. I don't think it's gonna hold up to its true red. But overall, these two blushes are very nice. I like how they are a bit different from each other. You could also mix them together as well, which is pretty cute too. Moving along, we have their Luxe lipstick kit. So again, one for Alice, one for the Queen of Hearts. Both of them have a Luxe lipstick and a Luxe gloss. These go for $18 each. Again, you have the outer packaging. If you're a fan of the movie, you would love these as well. And then for the actual component, they do have different detailing on each, and they come in a pretty purple packaging. So let's talk about Alice's kit first. Her lipstick is called Most Curious, and this is a blur finish, and it's a nice like raspberry type of hot pink. It's not too fuchsia, which is still quite wearable. And her gloss is like a lilac pink with a lot of silver to lime glitters, but this will go on a little bit more sheer, and that is a very pretty combo there. I think a little bit more approachable. Then for the Queen of Hearts kit, the lipstick is called My Ways, and this is a cream finish, and this is a little bit more of a hot red, a more true red, and I am wearing it on my lips right now. Actually, I just blotted it out and it kind of looks like more of a hot pink, but this is also very pretty too. And then for the gloss, it's called Coquette Queen. This actually kind of reminds me of maybe like the Clinique Black Honey. I haven't used that, so I can't say 100%. So if you guys have used it and you're seeing the swatch right now, let me know what you think and if you think it's similar. These formulas are not new. I think if you see a shade that suits your preference, then by all means. If you're a fan of the movie, again, I think it's perfect. The Luxe lipsticks are very pigmented, very comfortable, very creamy to wear. The glosses as well have a really good shine, not too sticky. And then lastly, we just have the little extras, which is probably my favorite, honestly. We first have from 4th Ray Beauty a lip mask in a little mushroom packaging. I think this is so cute. I love when Colourpop does this. The lip mask is called Pure Madness, and it comes with a little spatula as well, which is great. The lip masks are actually really hydrating, and although this has like a vanilla scent, I think it's just the cutest thing ever, and it is currently sold out, but I do believe they will restock eventually. I feel like if you're gonna get anything from this collection, why not get this little mushroom lip mask? I love it so much. But then lastly in the collection, we have this pocket hairbrush, which I think is so cute because it's in the Mad Hatter's like pocket watch. Like that's the packaging that it comes in. I actually thought this was a mirror at first. I know this is sold out right now, but I do believe Colourpop will restock. That's just what they always do. I think this is so cute. I love the merch things, but overall guys, if you want to purchase anything from this collection, feel free to use my code JUDY at checkout for 10% off. It will work on this collab. I honestly loved everything. I feel like everything in this collection was very consistent. I actually have no duds at all to say about this collection at all. I think for me, my favorites is the lip mask and the hairbrush, but that's because I like little things like that. But makeup wise, I would say probably the eyeshadow palette and the color sticks. They're not shades I would typically wear often, but I think the formula and the looks that I got out of it overall I really enjoyed. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. To end off the video, let's go into my 3 looks. I hope you will enjoy. So first up, I'm taking the shade Talking Flowers. I'm gonna mainly focus this at the outer corners of my eyes using circular motion. This is a really pretty muted lilac. I feel like this is such a unique shade. I don't really have something sort of like this, I feel. I really like this shadow, so I'm mainly focusing this at the outer corner and really smoking and blowing that out, just again with circular motions. I'm also taking that onto my lower lash line as well, just again at the outer edge, and I'm going to take a little bit into the inner third, but mostly just connecting the shadow at the outer corner. Then we're taking this shade up here called Very Merry Unbirthday, and this is going to be the star of the show. I'm packing this on at the inner third of the eye, and I'm sort of like cutting out my crease with this shadow, so taking this above the natural fold of my crease and I'm gonna bring it sort of up here. It is quite nice to see Colourpop add more like dimension into their palettes. I feel like there's about 3 duochromes in this palette, so that's always quite nice. And I feel like this duochrome is quite generic, like a lot of brands do this purple to blue flip, but it's really pretty nonetheless. So I'm bringing that all the way into my inner corners as well. I am going to take that onto my lower lash line as well. I'm first taking it in the inner corner, sort of as a highlight, stopping somewhere in the middle. Then going into the pressed glitter called I'm Late. And this reflects mostly silver, but there's like hints of gold in here as well. I'm actually just going to dab some off the back of my hand because I want more of like a scattered look. And I'm just going to tap that all over my eye, mostly at the inner third, and then once there's like a little left on my finger, I'll tap it at the outer edge, just because I want a lot of dimension, I want a lot of glitter. And honestly, applying glitter with your fingers is probably the best. Now that my nails are like short, it's just so easy to do. I'm going back into the shade Talking Flowers, which is the muted lilac mauve, and taking that on a pencil brush, I'm lightly just going back and forth around the cut crease area. This is just going to add more definition to the cut crease without actually, you know, getting a concealer and cutting out the crease. I'm just taking like a little bit on my brush. It's just like a slight definition over here, and it also does reinforce that purple shadow. So I'm holding my brush like all the way at the tip, so that way my pressure is very, very light, and the tip of the pencil brush is going along that cut crease line. So we are getting a nice soft diffusion and just blending that out for that very soft effect. And I feel like this really just brings the look together. Now we're going in with the shadow stick. This is the shade Not All 3. This is a metallic shade, and we're gonna use this for our eyeliner. So I'm taking this on my angled brush, taking some product directly on, and then literally just going on and creating my soft wing. I don't think Colourpop has came out with shadow sticks before, right? It's different from their color sticks. These are actually way more creamy, and I feel like way easier to use than their color sticks. I feel like the color sticks are maybe more like eyeliners, whereas this is a shadow stick. So they are more pigmented, they are a bit more smooth, and I'm in winter right now, so a lot of like my cream products do sort of harden, you know, just in the winter mornings. But I feel like this is pretty smooth to use, and I actually quite like it. It'll be really great as like an eyeshadow base. And then just taking some on my lower lash line as well, just at the outer third to get more definition. But here we have the first look completed. What do you guys think? I love how this look turned out. The purples, the blues, the glitters, everything I love in one look. So I personally love the outcome, and hopefully you guys like it too. So we're gonna start off with the shade Mad Tea Party, and I'm going to dust that all over my lids and slowly blend that up into the crease. This essentially is going to be the all over shade. This look is actually a really simple eye look. Since I am basing all 3 looks around the shadow sticks, I want to show you a simple way how to use them. So just dusting this like a muted olive. I would say it's quite unique. Maybe there's like a similar shade in the Just My Luck palette perhaps. I'm also gonna run that onto my lower lash line as well. Then going into the shade Nothing's Impossible. Just using a little pencil brush, I'm gonna focus this at the outer corners, just mostly on the lash line. I just want some depth for this eye look. I'm just going in with a more fluffy brush to just bring that up a little, just at the outer corner. And then gonna define my lower lash line with that same shadow, pressing it up against my lower lash at the outer edge, and then just using the pencil brush to smooth that out. Then we're gonna go into the shadow stick in the shade Careful Tea. I'm gonna use this in my inner corners. This one is also super creamy as well. Like, that goes on so nicely. But we are gonna go in with the shade Stark Raving Mad, which essentially is pretty much the same shade as the shadow stick, so I don't really know what the purpose of that was. I feel like maybe they should have did a different shadow or did a different shadow stick, because it literally is the same. But I'm gonna use the shadow just to sort of set that in place and blend that out. It's just better to have precision with a brush rather than the shadow stick. I'm gonna also take that onto my lower lash line as well. We're sort of just doing like a pop of green in the inner corner. But just using the shadow stick underneath, it really does enhance the shadow more. So I guess that is a good thing, but I do think the shade is just like way too similar to have it in a shadow stick and in an eyeshadow. And just taking the shade I'm Late, the pressed glitter, I'm gonna tap a little bit in my inner corners just to enhance that furthermore. But alright, here we have the second look completed. It was a pretty simple eye look to do, not many shadows, but I feel like it's such a pretty pop of color and it looks like a lot, but really it was just 3-4 shadows and it gave us this beautiful minty green eye look. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this second look as well. So first up, we're going to be taking the shade That Way, and I'm just going to run that all over my lid space. Essentially, this is just going to be the base color for our eye look. It is pretty light on me. It just gives like very slight definition to the eyes. But this eye look is very simple. It is an inspired look. I'll put the inspo here. I feel like if you're on Little Red, then you definitely have seen this look, but I thought that shadow would be perfect for this eye look. We're also gonna focus some of that shadow onto the lower lash line as well, just sweeping that from left to right. And then we'll be taking the final shadow stick in the shade Full of Wonder. I'm just gonna take some product on my little brush here, and we are gonna use this above the crease line just as a sort of highlight. I feel like the shadow sticks are so much better than their color sticks. Like, these just go on so much more smoother and way more pigmented. It is also gonna go onto our lower lash line as well, sort of on like our eye bag here. Then back into the palette, taking the shade Very Merry Birthday. This shadow is pretty much the same as the shadow stick, which, you know, I feel like, again, they could have done something different, but it works great to just sort of set that in place and enhance that color. And same thing for the lower lash line. Then we're going onto this bottom shade here, and I'm just gonna layer that on top just to give it a little bit more definition. It is very, very subtle. And here we have the final look completed. Although it's a super easy look, I just love how it turned out. I feel like it's super eye-catching, so hopefully you guys like this look as well. Guys, those were my 3 looks. What do you think? Let me know your favorite down below in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to know what you guys thought about this collection as well. Did you purchase anything? Are you going to now? Let me know down below. But thank you guys so much for watching as always. I truly do appreciate it. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!